Hi Flosstube, it's Stephanie with Kate's Crafts and welcome back to my channel. If you are returning, welcome back, and if you're new, I'm glad you found me. So thanks for being here, and if you like what you see and you want to hit the subscribe button down below, and also please follow me on Instagram. I would love to follow you back. Uh, if you are new and you found me through somebody else, please leave a comment down below and let me know how you found me. I always like to uh, understand how you found my channel and be able to welcome you. So thanks. This is the end of week 1 of March matchups. The March Madness brackets is the brainchild of the Steel City Stitchers. I will link them down below. If you don't already follow them, you should. And they work to get an FFO at the end of the month, right? So they have you whittle down 4 WIPs, 4 starts, WIPs being work in progress, lots of acronyms in the cross stitch world. If you're new, feel free to ask. I will try to explain them all down below. But 4 already started projects with 4 new projects and whittle them down through the bracket style with voting on Instagram stories to get to 1 winner, and then you have the rest of the month to fully finish that, which means finish the stitching and then also frame it or make it into a pillow or however you want to finish it. So I don't have a lot of smalls, so I'm doing it a bit different. The first round I was stitching a minimum of 100 stitches on each of my 8 pieces, and then the winner went into round 2, which I stitched a minimum of 200 stitches on each piece. For the final 4 pieces, the final 2 pieces I've stitched 400 stitches on each, and then whichever one's voted the winner, I will stitch an additional 800 stitches on that piece. So a lot of my projects are bigger. I am certainly not working for a finish. I'm just trying to enjoy the process and have a little fun with some matchups. And it's fun to see on Instagram stories what you guys think is your favorite WIP of mine. So I've been surprised by some of the votes, but that's the way it goes. So uh, I guess last time I gave you guys an update, I was towards the end of round 1. I had stitched one of my pieces for the last matchup of 4, and that was my Heaven and Earth design. This is mini white Magnolia, and it's by Mary Ann Broom on, like I said, Heaven and Earth Designs. I worked in a bunch of my parked threads here. Still have some, obviously, but I am stitching this on 25 count easy grid Lugana, and it is 2 over 1/10 stitch. And this piece, when it's done, will be about, that big. So that's page 1 of 12. So that piece was up against a new start, which I was starting after I recorded last week, and that was Frogwarts Year 1, which is a design by Katie from the Black Needle Society. They did their first Frogwarts retreat, which is based on Harry Potter, which if you have been on my channel, you know I'm a fan of all things Harry Potter, as well as Disney, but also Harry Potter. And so I started their piece, and this was my progress. Now, I will tell you that Frogworks won. So Frogworks already has more stitching on it than the original 100 stitches, obviously, but this is where it's at today. So I have the sorting hat completely done, and I started on Hedwig here. This is being stitched on a 36 count honey from Brandy Epi Stitch Me. It's a linen, and I wasn't sure last week if I was going to go all in one piece, split on multiple pieces, because there's going to be a banner for each of the 7 books. And some people are stitching them all in rows on one big piece of fabric, and I am not. My fabric's just oversized for this pattern currently. I didn't cut it down. I've decided that I think I want to be able to have different colors based on the design and let that impact the way I stitch it. So I'm just going to plan to stitch on 36 count linen for all of the books. So again, this is Honey by Brandy Epi Stitch Me. So between Mini White Magnolia, Frogwarts, Frogwarts 1. So then that got me to my final 4. So my final 4, the one matchup was again Frogwarts. I guess spoiler alert. And then this one is the Hawaiian Mandala Sampler by Ink Circles, and I was working on it today again as one of my something green projects for WIP Daze in Semi-Sane Stitchers, so it's still in the hoop, but there's my progress on that. This is again by Ink Circles. I'm stitching this on 20 count Ada, and I believe this is in the colorway Dune from Brandy at Stitch Me. And I am stitching with a sulky 12 weight, so it's one strand, and I forget the name of this. I can look up the color and put it down below if anyone's interested. I want to say it's like Forest Floor is the color. So that went up against Frogwarts in the final 4 and Frogwarts 1. So Frogwarts has now had 100 plus 200 plus 400 stitches done on it, and we're ready to go to the final round. My other 2 matchups, the other side of my bracket, I had Ink Circles Henna Mandala, which was a new start. And this is on 20 count Ada in the colorway Oat by Brandy at Stitch Me. And this is my progress so far. So this had 100 plus 200 on it. And this is again with a sulky blendable, and that's in the colorway Caramel Apple. And I really love how that's coming out. I think it's staying pretty true to the Gloriana silk that Tracy had called for in her pattern. So I really do love this. It's a super easy stitch. It's very nice working with the variegated. This is really the first, those 2 Ink Circles are the first chance I've had to work with the sulky blendables. Highly recommend them. I'm using, again, the 12 weight with 1 strand on 20 count. So, and it is, I mean, I get a little close here. It is a little fluffy. It's great coverage. It's like solid full coverage, which I like. But if you like it a little sparser, I would, I would either drop down to the 30 weight if you're going to stitch on 20 count, or go back to like a 16 or an 18 count. But highly recommend the sulky. All right, and Henna Mandala went up against Turtle. It's a turtle cross stitch pattern from Etsy, so I just call it Turtle. It's on the world's stiffest piece of Ada, and I still have not measured to see if this is 14 or 16 count. I'm almost positive it's 16 count, but I could be wrong. Anyway, I again, super stiff, and for some reason I didn't like the coverage with 2 strands when I was stitching it, so I am stitching with 14, oh good lord, 4 strands of DMC. This is my progress so far, and again, this has gone through a couple rounds, so I've added basically these 3 bands, everything down here, like from here down where it started, and I had finished the last little bit here. So Turtle with Henna Mandala, Turtle won. I think people are just picking which one's the furthest along because they're expecting me to finish. I'm not going to finish it. Not going to happen. So my final 2, Turtle versus Frogworks. So I have my 400 stitches on both of these, and they will go up tonight on my Instagram stories. So if you follow me over the next day into Monday, March 15th, please go check it out and vote. As it turns out, these are my 2 WIPGO projects for February or for March. So I had slated 1,000 stitches on Harry Potter, which I actually did finish last night, and I had picked a finish on Turtle. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, really, they are long goals. I don't have to, I mean, there's no rule that says I have to finish it in March, but I, up to this point, have finished all my goals in the month they're called. So, not going to happen here. I am just about 50% done. So, because it's got to come around for the rest of the shell, and then there's the two front flippers and the head. So, I want to say I'm at 49%. So, progress was made on both. WIPGO, in case you don't know, it's like a bingo board, and that is the brainchild of Jessie Marie of Jessie Marie Does Stuff. And I will link her video down below where she explains what WIPGO is. And this is one of the WIPGO weekends. There's one weekend a month throughout the year, and that we focus on our WIPGO projects also and post our progress. So I'll be posting whatever my final progress is on those tonight. At this point, the weekend goals I've set, I've met. So I'm kind of staying true to my plans, which in this day and age, very exciting. Best I can hope for. So again, I ask that you guys follow me on Instagram, and please follow me and check out my story and vote for who you guys think should get the extra 800 stitches. Remember, you're not voting for an FFO. Just saying. All right. I have a love-hate relationship with Turtle. I will never stitch with 4 strands again unless it's on like 10 count. I hate it. So all the more reason to have it done. But you know, Frogworks is a much more enjoyable stitch. So use that information as you will when you vote. Okay. All right. The other thing, I have a couple other projects that I've been working on. I want to show you guys real quick. One thing, Monochromatic March. It's my birthday month. My birthday is this Tuesday. So anybody who has not joined in yet, you still have plenty of time to do so. You know, I basically wanted to have something that was just kind of different and was easy for everyone to do, whether you had no new starts or wanted to start something new. You could go either way. And so what I'm calling it is Monochromatic March SAL. So hashtag Monochromatic March SAL, S-A-L, stitch along. So if you want to stitch, especially on Tuesday on my birthday, that'd be great. But anytime this month, anytime you stitch on a monochromatic piece, and I'm okay with monochromatic-ish, right? We have a lot of like the blendables. It's still one floss. Call that good if it's variegated. Some people are stitching in things with 2 or 3 shades of purple, but it's all purple. That's still monochromatic. So, and then some people are stitching things that are just one DMC color. No hard and fast rules. It's really all just fun and games. So, but please use the hashtag Monochromatic March SAL. I'd love to follow along and see what you're posting. I'm also, my Hawaiian piece I will continue to work on, and my Stitch Asia piece I will continue to work on. I did not work on it this week, my Stitch Asia piece, but I also do want to get a little bit more in this month so I can post that as well. Those both happen to be monochromatic at this point, so I'm also using that. You know. But Stitch Asia is was brought about by Abby Bella Stitch, and I will link her down below. Please follow her. Her videos are fantastic. I only found her recently because I need to branch out more on my Flosstube, getting sucked down the rabbit hole of following so many people on Flosstube. But it's a great community, and Abby wanted to raise awareness on violence and attacks on Asians as a result of the pandemic, and just call to light that, you know, inclusion matters, diversity matters. So, you know, please feel free to stitch on a Asian inspired piece, something that was designed by an Asian designer, or fabric and floss that was made by an Asian crafts person. So, and then hashtag Stitch Asia. And that's starting in March, but obviously will continue forward. So I have the window open because it's a beautiful day here. I hope you guys, I can hear a lot of birds. I hope that's not distracting, but you know, it's March. We gotta, if I can open the windows, I'm going to. So, all right. Other new starts. So last week I kind of went through, and the video before I went through my March plans. I do have 2 new starts on top of all of what I just showed you. The first new start I told you about, is I'm doing the Roxie Stitch Along with Jean Farish, and I will have her linked down below. And she is selling this pattern on her Etsy. The chart is $15. It's not too late to join, and it comes with some really great videos. We've only had the first installment, but the first video is 2 hours long, right? And it's a great video to stitch along with, but also to learn from. And now, if you've watched my channel, you will notice that the bulk of my patterns are full coverage. Some of the ones I've shown for today for March Madness are not, but the bulk of my patterns, I have like 28 whips and 21 of them are full coverage. So that is me, right? I like full coverage, heids, big pieces. You know, I've never stitched a sampler. I'm not a sampler person. I'm just not. I really don't. I'm not drawn to stitching baskets of berries. And there are some beautiful charts out there, and I think they're gorgeous. They're just not things I would choose to put on my wall or fit my aesthetic, and that's okay. I love that there's such diversity in the cross stitch world now. Um, and I understand that I'm on the more like modern side of it in the sense of full coverage, not traditional prim stitching. But I wanted to learn specialty stitches, and I thought this would be the best way to do it, right? Have instructional video and learn along. If you've been listening to me since December, you know that I also used the 12 days of stitching to try new fabrics, new designers, and new stitches, beading, etc. Right? So I had never stitched on linen before that, so I did a Lizzie Kate linen small, and now I've started 3 other pieces on linen. So just trying to kind of grow and experience new things. So Roxie is a traditional sampler, but instead of doing a reproduction, what Jean Farish has done is to modernize it. So she's taken the color palette and made it more up to date. The original sampler was by Roxana Carson, and she's calling it Roxie because if she was around today, her nickname would most likely be Roxie. So I am stitching this on 40 count linen. So not only am I jumping in, I'm jumping in at, in the deep end and going with 40 count. And I will tell you, when I have stitched on 28 count, I don't like it over 2. And I ended up going back and stitching all my Satsuma Street ornaments 28 count over 1. Like, I just didn't like the way it looked. So she's stitching hers on 30 count. I've picked 40 count, and I have a modest start. It's very small. But this is officially my first berry border. And this is just a piece of, is it white? I think it's just white. Yeah, white Newcastle linen from 123 Stitch. I didn't want to do an overdyed. I just wanted to try it out. And it's really a learning sampler for me. If I can frame it and put it up on my wall and I'm proud of it, great. But if it turns into a hot mess and I just use it to learn some stitches, that's okay too. I'm going to post this on Instagram and you guys can follow along with, I'm going to be using the hashtag Stephanie Stitches a Sampler or Steph Stitches a Sampler, because I think it's going to be funny, because inevitably I will mess this up. But you can follow along with my adventures of a full coverage stitcher trying to stitch a sampler. And I am doing this with 2 strands on 40 count. And I understand now that a lot of people I watch do 1 strand on 40 count. I love the 2 strands. I think it's just me liking it filled in. I don't like seeing the fabric through. But I don't think it looks messy. I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me. Maybe it looks awful. But 2 strands. So we shall see how that goes. So that was a fun start. And then today, so I had mentioned last week I was going to be starting a new start today. March 14th was the day that Disneyland shut down because of the pandemic. Now, I know Michelle Bendy Stitchy and Erin Two Martini Stitcher and some other folks are stitching a pandemic sampler, and they're starting it all around. I think Michelle started hers earlier last week. I think Erin started hers on Friday. And they're doing it, it's hashtag, it's been a heck of a year, Sal. And for me and my line of work, Disney being closed affects me, right? I told you I'm a big Disney fan, but it's also affects me professionally. And it's very near dear to my heart because I don't think anyone expected that they would be closed a full year. You know, when they first shut down, I expected September. And even when people were hoping for June, July, and I was like, you know, Florida opened up in July, and now Disneyland still has not yet to open, and it looks like it'll be end of April. So great news that they're moving towards opening, but you know, it's been a year, and it's been a heck of a year. We all know that. So I decided to start my Disneyland Map, which is another full coverage piece because I didn't have enough. And I didn't quite realize how big it is. Now, Handwork Maniac is also stitching Disneyland Map. She mentioned that she has the 50 color version from Etsy. I somehow ended up with a 100 color version. Yeah, the amount of confetti in my start is outstanding. So I was chatting last night. I am a part of the Black Needle Society stitching group in their Facebook group, which anyone can join. But they do a monthly stitchy chat, and last night was our stitchy chat. So at midnight last night, I started my Disneyland map. It was officially the 14th, and I'm stitching this on 25 count easy grid. Again, I'm going to be doing 2/1 tent stitch for the full coverage on this one. And it is, I got about 220 stitches in. It's a small start, but it's a start. So that is what I have. There it is, Disneyland map. And this is going to be the bottom corner of the piece. The whole bottom is white, and I just couldn't fathom stitching all that white right now. My other project that I'll show you has a ton of 3865, and I don't have it in me right now. So I just, the benefit of Easy Grid, you just count up, and I'm starting where the color is, and I'm going to go from there. So this is Jungle Cruise. It's the start of the Jungle Cruise. So this will be fabulous, and it will probably take me 10 years to stitch it, but that's okay. I'm here for it. So, all right. Those are my 2 additional new starts outside of my brackets. I had one other WIP that I worked on. It is my 21 and 21, which is from Full Coverage Fanatics, 21,000 stitches on 1 full coverage piece. I'm also using this for Full Coverage Fanatics stitching around Iceland. And I'm also using it in Semi-Sane Stitchers for something that's green. This is my Heaven and Earth design. I'll do it this way. Floral Bird of Paradise. And this is going to be, I think this is on 18 count Ada. I'm stitching 2/1 full cross. And I want to say this is 400 by 400 stitches, I believe. Somewhere in that range. Or 450 by 450 maybe. So I am filling in. You can see this is all 3865 and 3770. So I had filled in a bunch of the leaf last time, and now I just want to fill in this last little gap I have here. So working on that so I can get my stitches in for the month to stay on track for 21 and 21. So that lost in the first round of my brackets. So I just have to work on that one separately. That is it. That is it for my projects for the week. Pretty busy week. And like I said, upcoming plans are going to be see who wins the 800 stitch finish of the winner of my matchups. I will probably continue to work on my Floral Bird of Paradise because that's my February focus piece, as I said. I will also try and work on Roxie because I want to make sure I try and get as close as I can to finishing the first part before the second part comes out April 1st. And I have no haul this week, but I am getting my first box from the Black Needle Society tomorrow. And I think I'm going to be one of the first people to receive it. I think one person mentioned that they received theirs yesterday because they live very, very close. I will get mine tomorrow. So excited. And I will film an unboxing for that as a special Flosstube extra. And I will label it spoiler alert. Stay away if you don't want to see until yours comes in. If you haven't ordered it and you want to watch it, or if you're not up for surprises and you want to see, great. But I should hopefully have that up by tomorrow. So that'll be a nice little birthday present to me. It's the first box that I've ordered, that I've received. I had actually ordered another box before that, but that one doesn't come till May or end of April. So the theme for this one is on the go. And like I said, this is their every other month monthly subscription box. And I did not get the Date with Your Stitching January box. So as I said, this is my first one. So I'm very excited for that. And so I'll have that to upload this week. And I've got my birthday on Tuesday, which, Tuesday's a really junky day to have a birthday. And I've got to go into the office for work and whatnot. So it won't be too terribly exciting as far as birthdays go. But, second quarantine birthday. But yeah, so trying to keep this short. I hope you guys all have a fantastic week. I hope you're staying healthy. We just heard here in Michigan that we are all eligible to sign up for vaccines starting April 1st. So hopefully I can get on a list. My parents now both have their first shot as of yesterday. So that's fantastic and exciting. And so, stay healthy, wear your mask, do your part, roll up your sleeve, get your shot, all the things so we can hopefully cut down on all these mutations and variants and try and get things open and back to as normal as they can be, right? But anyway, that is that. I guess one quick update on my craft room, since you're staring at the blank wall again and you still see the IKEA boxes behind me. Yeah, so my container store shelves that were supposed to come in this week, I got a call and they're back ordered to mid-April. Oh, it's a little anticlimactic. And then the other piece of the IKEA frame that we're waiting on is also sold out, but is supposed to come back into inventory Wednesday this week, I think. So we shall see. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that that comes back in. So if that's the case, then hopefully I can make some progress at least on the IKEA side and start getting some stuff put back, because I'm just in like a war zone right now in my craft room. Everything is everywhere. But that means the craft room walkthrough is probably not going to be until May, maybe even June if the things get delayed again. And I will do my best to maybe get some command hooks and get something up here on the wall so you're not staring at blank space the whole time, because I know I'm probably pretty boring. So, but thank you for watching. As I said, stay tuned for my unboxing video. I will hopefully be back next weekend with a final wrap up of March matchups, but also with a weekly update. And let me know what you think. I've been doing my Flosstubes once a month, but because I just, with my full coverage, I feel like I don't have a ton to show you guys. And but maybe I can come back with shorter videos and do it weekly. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comment. What do you think? Weekly, every 2 weeks, monthly? Do you care? I'd love to know. All right. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.